This trigger group clips in there. It's really snug. It really doesn't need to be super snug because I'm going to add finish to the inside of that, and that's going to add a teeny bit. It needs to slip in and out of there easily enough. I just need to slick it up. So I'm just kind of taking the sand mark, the machine mark, some of the rough edges off. Because it's got a cheek piece on it, the center line is off center. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mill off these blocks I had to hold it with. Also, I've got to resurface the top of this. Took some abuse, and when I first started this I surfaced that on the machine, on the mill, but I'm going to have to just barely straight block this, sand it just down real nice and smooth, because drilling the hole that went back into here, my drill got against up in here and kind of banged it up a little bit. I'm going to straight block this, resurface that, and I'm going to make that symmetrical. My center line is here. It's off center right now because of the cheek piece. It's going to be down here. I'm going to take off this excess and make this thing centered. This thing is a 2 1/16 at the widest place in the stock, which is right up above, right in front of this magazine. It's 2 1/16 wide is the original stock, and I think that may be even oversized because it was swelled from the fire, and there's splits and cracks down in the bottom that's allowed it to come apart. So I'm going to make it 2 1/8. Right now my center line is 1 1/16. I'm going to double that, take this excess off over here on my table saw, and finish my outside shape and remove these blocks and things. Where I flared this out is where the cheek piece starts coming out. I'm going to take it back down to 2 1/8 back here in the back. There's no reason why I can't get rid of that. Pretty close. Time I smooth that up, put those screws inside, it's touching nice and tight on the outsides. The screws being inside from there 3/4 or so, they pull the middle in, and that's what you want. That you want those, you want the outside edges to be super tight. you put a light on the other side of it and look through this way, if you don't see a gap, it's tight. Old gun guys will tap them. If there's any looseness, you'll hear it. There's a hole right there where I drilled for that. You can hear that hole where I drilled for the bolt. Alright, mechanically everything seems to work. The clip engages. When it's empty, it holds the bolt back. The bolt coming back brings the trigger mechanism and locks the hammer back. And so I know that the connection between the top part of this thing and the bottom part of this thing, the clearances are within tolerance. But I don't do very many automatics. And I'm going to take this thing out and run some shells through it. There was an issue with this thing being in the house fire where it wasn't cycling properly. I had that issue resolved with a gunsmith before I even started making the stock. I took care of that to start with. He mic'd the springs. He did a really jam up job. But I'm going to take this thing out. I'm going to run some shells through it. With the clip loaded, it's still, the clip engages and locks just like it's supposed to, and it seems to be a good positive lock. I'm going to take it out and run a few down the barrel. This is why I'm testing it. This charging handle right here, the clearance between it and this wood right here, it's scuffed to place right there. That's why I do this. Alright, that test firing worked fine, right? It did, but look what it did. It's fine when you're just cycling it by hand. But when it does it under pressure and rapid fire, look at this little scuff mark that it put right there. That's the inside curvature of this charge bar coming back under rapid fire conditions. See, that's why I have to test these things. So see, that lets me know that the tolerance is too close right here.